In this video, I'm going to be speaking to someone who is setting up an accelerator blockchain project. That's right, an accelerator blockchain project. We're going to find out what it is and what opportunities there are for you to get involved in this. Now, if you want to preserve your security and your privacy, go check out the OPOLO wallet, which I think is the most secure wallet going. Use my affiliate link for a discount.
Take the first step towards online privacy. Get NordVPN.
Hey everybody, this is Crypto Rich, working with you to get rich with crypto, filling our pockets with crypto profits. I'm with my friend James Bull, formerly, and I still think currently, of James Crypto Bull channel, YouTube channel. And we're going to be finding out about Walc.io, which is a project that he's setting up. Now, before I introduce him, please subscribe, follow me on Twitter, CryptoRichYT. Join my official Telegram announcements channel because I post all the stuff that I do there. And also, if you're watching this on YouTube, well, really come over to Odyssey, bit.ly/CryptoRichOdyssey, because I post more material there and I'm not censored there. All right. Hey, James, how you doing?
Hey, Rich. Good to see you, mate. Long time no see.
Long time, long time, because we used to do fairly regular collaborations.
Yeah,
your
definitely.
channel and my channel, talking about different projects and everything. But you're now setting something else up. Do you just want to say a little bit about, just teeny weeny bit about yourself and your role in crypto?
Yeah, I suppose the story starts there, and this is where we've got to now. So obviously, 2015, I got the bug, should we say, seeing Tony Robbins talking about this cashless society. And then sort of, it wasn't until the early 2016 that I jumped in. You know, I bought, this is going to sound crazy, I bought Ethereum at $8 and thought it was the biggest risk I'd ever taken. But obviously I was proven very wrong because it was previously $2. I was thinking, oh, if it crashes, you know, what goes up must come down. And before I knew it, you know, I was looking at my portfolio and it was, you know, 20, 30, 40 grand, and I put very little in. I was like, oh my God, I've hit on something here. And then before I knew it, I became the expert locally on different medias and stuff, and then everyone was inboxing me, and that became a full-time job. So I thought I need another outlet, and that's when I started the YouTube channel to sort of help people. And I thought, no one's going to watch any of my videos. Who's going to watch? They don't even know I am. I did my first video just doing my top 10. Obviously Bitcoin was I was just saying this is going to be the daddy in like 5 years time, and that got 60,000 views in the first week. And then I just thought, oh my God, I've hit on something here. There's value, people want to listen. And then basically I just reviewed a lot of coins, did some training courses. They did go on some pay for platforms, but very quickly I just put them on the channel because the whole point of the channel was to help people. Not, you know, I've seen other people charging $3 grand for the same course, and I just thought, nah, I'm not going to be that person. Here it is, it's free, help yourself. It's not going to grow by ripping people off. It's going to grow by helping and sharing. And then obviously we ended up collaborating on a few things, and had a business called Crypto Rookies. That sort of fell apart, really, nothing to do on my side. And I just thought I need to step away for a bit. And I stepped away from the YouTube channel, stepped away from crypto to some extent. I actually built a company in Australia called Get My Refund, which is www.getmyrefund.com.au, bit of a mouthful, which was basically attacking the banks. They'd rip people off. They'd insurances, PPI. So if you're familiar with Gladstone Brooks, I built basically the Gladstone Brooks of Australia. It's the #1 company over there, revenues of over 3 million and stuff. So I sort of diversified a little bit. However, crypto's a powerful thing, and quickly got drawn back in again because I've always wanted to do my own project. And we were going to do an exchange to start off with because my business partner actually builds exchanges for banks, Singapore Exchange. He's also designed the surveillance software, so he's a surveillance specialist. So he designed the first crypto surveillance for the Abu Dhabi market. I can tell you now that he's working with some of the biggest exchanges on the planet, because obviously all of these regulations are coming in, so they're having to up their game, and he's working with them. He's involved in lots of different things in terms of finance, and then we were doing a deal with a sort of an Asian bank as such. That fell through, but on the back of that, there a whole piece of technology that we didn't think was available to us was. So most people know smart contracts in, you know, in the usual way, something goes up, blah, blah, blah. But we actually found another way of using it as a messaging protocol, which is a very different use case versus what most people are using it for. And then we hooked up with some real high level finance guys, some people in the investment banking world, and basically came up with a solution. And that makes part of what the project that we're doing now. It's like, I'm going to call it the cash cow. So that's what's going to provide the funds for the accelerator.
Right.
And then I went to Lisbon last minute to get a grant for the project at the NEAR conference. Anybody who hasn't been to the NEAR conference, fill your boots. It was brilliant. I mean, for €400, it was 4 or 5 days. All the booze was free. Events were free. The booze at the events were free. The food, it was just nuts. It was nuts compared to some of these where you pay. I mean, we were going to get charged like $4,500 to go to one in Dubai, and it looked pretty poor, to be honest. So yeah, great value for money, great atmosphere, great people. Hence why we're sort of building with them, because we do think that is the best technology out there at the moment, especially for what we want to do, sharding, security and stuff like that. And it was literally on the way back, the whole market crashed, and a project that I knew, they had all their funds in Celsius, and I had some funds in Celsius as well. Not all, I have bits everywhere just in case, and it all fell apart. And it just got me thinking. And then they couldn't do anything with the projects. They didn't have any funds, and we were so focused on the real-time payment company that it just got me thinking. Is that the real-time payment company makes ridiculous money? It's in the FX market space. So for anybody who doesn't know about that, it's the largest traded market on the planet. It does $6.6 trillion a day, and that was when we did the research over a year ago. It's now doing $7.2 trillion. Everything's falling apart in the world. Fuel prices are up. Everything's up. That market just keeps growing, keeps on growing, and it has done for many years. So it was a perfect ground for us, really. And we had all the contacts, because obviously, apart from myself, like people, I had someone say, "Oh, how can you get in the banks and stuff?" I said, "Because it wasn't my idea, mate. It's my friends, my business partners. They are so high up in finance. Like, they literally knocked on the door of the largest investment bank to showcase the idea, and within a week they're there. And then another week later, we're showcasing it to the head of FX, head of IT, and getting the feedback from the customer. So we do a lot of projects out there. They build a project and go, "Oh, we've got this great idea. That'll work, and we'll give it a token." And off they go. They build this project, and then they try and get traction, and it doesn't work. Where I've always been of the mindset, well, if that's my customer, let me go speak to my customer. Let me understand what their needs and things we can and we can't do, and then go away and build the best solution possibly can. And that's basically what we've done in that sense.
Right, and this is leading on to this project being Walc, WALC.io. So what does Walc stand for, and what is Walc?
Walc stands for Wheel of Crypto, and what it was just a bunch of friends who got together that were passionate about crypto, that wanted to do something with blockchain technology and create really, really good solutions. And what I'd seen in the marketplace is, especially going to NEAR, for instance, some very, very intelligent, smart people with great ideas. But as you know, like, business isn't just about ideas. It's about being able to run your finance, the legal, being able to, zero-based budgeting and management of those things, marketing. I'm expert in certain areas. So especially like managing budgets and stuff. I manage a £60 million budget now for a very large chocolate company, shall we say, without giving too much away. There's lots of, I do some high level stuff there, and I work with marketing. Some of the, it's Cadbury's, Oreo. I look after, help out with those brands, and I do things with those brands. We did Philadelphia recently, Eurovision. So I'm heavily into the marketing side, so I understand those things. So I can go and help other projects. I've got other people in the team, CFO of Anytime Gyms. So in terms of the finance side, he's absolutely bloody brilliant. 30, 40 years experience. And I think a lot of projects are lacking. They've got the energy and enthusiasm and ideas as young 20-year-old kid, young men, young women. And they just need that little bit of help. And I can see that from afar. And then the second problem is that, and we found this, trying to get funding and everything else, is that the funding is so inconsistent. It's unbelievable. So what we get this bang and bust in the crypto market, which is it is what it is. Markets go up, they go down. But obviously this goes down hard and it goes up hard. And then in the last one, we lost half the VCs. They just disappeared. And then those that were still in got hit really hard. So there wasn't the money about to fund projects. So it got us thinking that we needed a real world business outside and removed from the crypto world, if you will, but actually utilizing blockchain technology. So it still fits with the parameters and the ethos of the project. But it actually sits outside. That project will just do this. It will just continue to make money. And then that allows us to then fuel the Walc Accelerator. And the main reason for that is we could do real-time payment and just disappear into the ether, And it will be the largest use case of blockchain and smart contracts on the planet just because of the size of the market purely. But I'd get bored. I think you know me, Rich. You've got
to have a game, something that you've got to be up to something, right? Okay,
yeah.
So Walc Accelerator. And we'll talk about why near in a moment, right? But what do you mean Walc Accelerator? What does it do?
So what we'll do is we'll obviously have 3 sort of forms of funding. So we've got grants, we'll do an ICO, and then we'll also have the real-time payment company where that will generate profits for us to then utilize within the Walc Accelerator. We'll then bring projects in. So we've got a couple of projects that we're doing ourselves, obviously the real-time payment company. We'll also build our own exchange. And the reason for that is because what we can do is we can put Simon up on a pedestal because he has created the standard within the banking world in terms of how exchanges are built and stuff. That's his job. So it makes only sense that we build one. And then when everyone else is going, oh, it's built by Dave and Bob, we've got Simon and we've got the rest of the team to be able to put on a pedestal and say, hey, this is built at a certain, like the standard, if you will. So that's going to be our second project, which will be the Walc Exchange. And there'll be some funky things with that where you can cross trade across other platforms. So a bit of arbitrage, if you will, but you can keep all your tokens in one place because that's always the thing. I'm sure you've got the same, that you've got like tokens in different, unless you obviously use DEX as such, but you've got Binance, a BitGet, all these different types of accounts. And then on the back of that, we'll actually look for good projects, NFT wallets, DAOs, whatever it may be. They can join our accelerator. We'll take a percentage of the company. And when we take a percentage of the company, that's it. And then we will fund that project until success. So We're not just a part-time player. Oh, here's some money, get started. Let's hope you do something. No, if we bring a project in, and there'll be a real high criteria in terms of who gets in and who doesn't, that's it. We're invested then. We'll take a percentage of those profits or percentage of the company. Then we'll fund them with money to start off with, get them going. We've got all the facilities, so from marketing to legal. We've also got the entity already in terms of the token. I'm not going to say what country it is because it cost me a lot of money to find out what country I needed to do all this in. People can, if you join our social media, maybe I'll tell you and you can inbox me, but little incentive there. But yeah, so we paid a lot of money to sort of find out how to do things properly.
Yeah.
And then when they're on board, they get full support. And then when they
it's a little bit like an investment fund or something, where you're supporting, coaching.
Yeah, 100%.
Providing services, providing funding for what you consider to be good projects, and then you'll take a share of the proceeds when it comes to fruition.
Exactly. And then based on that, there's a couple other things. So everybody or every project that joins the accelerator, they might have Bob token or whatever it may be. That goes. They need to adopt our token. And the reason for that is we want to change the mentality of projects. So right now, there's certain projects out there. They're like our project, nothing else. Blinkers on. Let's go. And if I'm honest, some of them are quite scammy. They don't really have anything. Meme coins, for instance. Why buy a car without an engine? It's pointless. It's pointless.
No. You have to buy a coin with a dog's face or a frog's face. That was what Satoshi Nakamoto aspired. That
was a dream, wasn't it? So what we're trying to do is we're going to start with a mini metro and we want it to be a Ferrari, but it's going to take time. We need to build it. We need to work on it. So people will adopt the token, and then what that does is it changes the mindset of people where they're all working together now because they all own the token and we all want to see the token do well, not just for people that have invested or holding the token, but the projects themselves. So, and what that does is change the dynamic within the Walc Accelerator. So for instance, if we have an NFT wallet, that is the only NFT wallet. And for instance, with the exchange, we'll use that NFT wallet in the exchange. So we will create more utility for projects straight away because we'll have those elements there. And then, for instance, we'll already have our own exchange. So we won't have another exchange in Accelerator. We'll be looking for different variety of projects. So there's no competition within the ecosystem. So again, the ethos is that we're all working together. We've all got different projects. And then what you'll see is a bit more cross-pollination. So you'll have one person from one project maybe go help somebody because they're all in the same game. We're all in it together.
Right.
Versus, someone's working on their project to try and make it big, make as much money. They're not going to go help another project. There's nothing in it for them. Not unless they're paying them or they're their best mate or something like that. That's just not going to happen. So it was really about changing the hearts and minds of how we do things in the crypto space, because it's about building something together. I know it sounds a little bit cheesy, but it is about building something together than building just in silos, really. And that's if we can use the brand as well.
But if you're going to use one token and the Walc token, well, why not use, an already existing token or a coin like Atom or Near or something? Why do you have to create your own?
Well, we control the value then. So with Near, I mean, right now, personally, I think it should be a lot higher, but it's 162. Where if we have our own token, we're now locked into our own ecosystem. So we drive the news. So the idea would be is you bring in new projects, token goes up a little bit because you just added some more value.
Right.
Project launches, so with every project that comes in, there's going to be 5 or 6 pieces of major news. Now you've got 10 projects. Now you've got 60 pieces of major news that would drive the price. Then on the back of that, which is another interesting concept that we designed, was so let's say we take 25% to make things really easy for a project. That 25% goes up to the mothership, which is Walc. And what we do is we split that. So 25% will go back to the shareholders. Thank you for investing, et cetera, et cetera. 25%, and this includes all the money from the real-time payment company, will go buy the token back. So there's another mechanism. And all I've done is looked at the market and gone, what has worked, what didn't work. Binance buying the token back, one of the best things I've ever seen. So and we've got a real world business buying it back, not a crypto market project. So it's not going to have these highs and lows. If anything, when the market dips, actually I would like to see our project keep going up because we keep buying back the token. So even in a bear market,
buying back and burning.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, there's a huge piece there, and then 50% of all the profits that we get back from the projects go back in and get recycled to fund more projects. So actually, all we're doing is we're skimming a little bit off the top to give back to investors, and then the money keeps going back in to reinvest, keep buying back the coin, bring in more projects, make it even bigger, buy back even more coins, and just grow that ecosystem massively.
Okay, and this coin or this token is running on the Near blockchain.
Correct.
Okay, now tell us. I have covered Near a long time ago, and I did have Near for a while, and I don't have any now. And what I know about it, what I remember about it, it's very, very fast. It's an EVM. So for people who don't know, it can run on the Ethereum. It's Ethereum virtual machine. It uses how to explain it? It can run on the Ethereum network in a way. Like it makes it faster, like Polygon does, like Evmos does. Which other EVMs there are. There's quite a few. So Near is an EVM. It's a fully decentralized project.
I think they're working towards that.
Okay.
That's the premise. So there's a couple of reasons why we use Near. And it's a total holistic thing rather than just one key element, if you will. So the first one is obviously the Ethereum fees were just ridiculous. So it didn't. They were
too low, right?
Yeah.
Only $20. I want to pay $200 to send something.
Oh, it's just nuts. So that went out the window straight away.
Yeah.
So that was a huge thing. So the fees were too much, so couldn't use that. Then obviously, Ethereum is 15 TPS, and it's just not fast enough. When you start looking at Near, it's actually on par with Solana and some of the others out there. So that then makes sense. So it's like it's competing on speed part, if you will. And then obviously that comes down to a lot of things like Doom Slug, and they do things very, very differently in terms of how that protocol operates. But the real icing on the cake was the sharding for us. So in terms of if we're working, so our major project is obviously the real-time payment. We need a shard that is literally a private finance shard for the banks and nobody else, because they're not going to want anybody else on say the public chain, for instance. We still get all the benefits of the public chain and get the updates, but nobody else will use that shard. It will be our own private shard. We'll run it, etc., etc.
Okay. Now, before you go on, Jake, just say a little bit about what sharding is, because I have a vague notion, but I don't want anybody to rely on what I have to say about it. And if you can keep it as simple
terms.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the way I understand it is you've got obviously Ethereum. It's all in blocks. It's all together, and it sort of builds up, and it just gets slower, basically. And then with the sharding, it's literally a line off. And it's like extra storage in the sort of the near terms, because a lot of the stuff on Near in terms of the fees, you're paying for storage, and when you build a coin, it's for storage. So it's very, very different in how it operates. But the sharding is just really to keep them or maintain the speed of the chain. So it's not just backing up. It's like, oh, right, we're down here, and you can offset as such. in the simplest format. There is some technical stuff, especially if Simon's here, give you half an hour on it. But in the simplest terms, that's what it is, and it works perfectly for what we need.
Right.
And so that's the technical side of NEAR, which is great. But then on the other side of NEAR, I know a few others have started doing this, that they had a grant program, which was really, when the market was on its arse, nobody wanted to help us. We obviously did a family and friends raise, and then we went with NEAR basically. I mean, the guy that we had, Mark Sugden, he was an ex-trader anyway, so he's seen it and he was like, "Holy shit, guys, you got a unicorn here. Let me get you in." So, before we knew it, I was in Lisbon conference, and Mark sorted it. Mark and David Garcia sorted it out for us, and we got our grant, and we've been building sort of ever since. Really, I mean, there's been a few challenges because it's quite complex, and we reformulated it slightly, but for the better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's NEAR, and then the Walc token will run on the NEAR blockchain. And we didn't say this, but NEAR is a smart contract protocol, so it's programmable money in the way that Ethereum is, and Atom is, and Solana is, and Bitcoin isn't. Okay, so you can give instructions and you can build applications on it. So Walc is going to be it's going to have its own token on the NEAR platform, and you're doing an ICO. Now, James, who does ICOs? That's so 2017, which in crypto might as well be like back with the dinosaurs.
I don't know, because we see Pepe the other week, and it just went off like a rocket.
But they didn't do an ICO, did they?
Was it an IEO?
I don't think they did it. I thought they just released it.
I thought, I mean, I'm not close enough. I try to avoid those things. I mean, for us, we're trying to do an IEO. So we're currently in talks with
initial exchange offering.
Yeah, so we're in talks with one of the big exchanges right now, and Launchpad. We're to the final stages basically. Submitted all the paperwork, all the token bits and pieces to be able to launch on that. And the main reason for that is, again, thinking of anybody who's investing, is that we didn't really want to do it through just a website, because the amount of scams and stuff like that. It's actually, we want to direct to a place which is trusted, and obviously we have to go through a hell of a lot of due diligence and reviews and lots of things to be able to even get launched on there. So it gives the project some credibility, because this project it's not a quick rich scheme, if you will. That's not what this is about. This is about long-term continuous investment. The money that we make from this isn't going in our back pockets and we're disappearing off down, Barbados or whatever. It's literally to put it back in, because it comes back to the name. We all love crypto, and we want to see this grow big. And there's a dynamic happening right now where the crypto's on its arse a little bit. These little FTX, boom, down, boom. It just creates a lot of distrust. Now, I can tell you now, obviously working with the banks, we will be the first project in banks, 100%. And we should launch early 2024 with that. And it's about blockchain technology being adopted by major institutions. I can also tell you, my current employer, because obviously I work while I'm doing this on the side, I'm involved with some of the stuff that they're doing. They're now getting into and trialing some blockchain projects. Now, I don't believe they're using the right protocols and different things to be able to do that, but hence why I've been sort of dragged in to help out, because it's very well known that I am the crypto expert within that business. So everybody's asking me, "Oh, dude, you remember when you told me to buy Bitcoin in 2010?" I said, "Yeah, I do. I try." You said, "No, it's a con." It's like, okay, but we've all had that. So yeah, I'm the expert at work by far, and obviously it's one of the biggest snacking businesses in the world. So that's going to be a huge use case. There's lots going on, and it's not the only one. You've seen Coca-Cola, different businesses, especially your household brands that now. Supply chain is massive in terms of this, and then the next level up from that is obviously their finance, their books. If they have like things like trade terms and things like that, that can go into smart contracts. There's a massive use case, but a lot of these businesses are very sensitive because of the reputation of crypto in that sense. And this is where we're trying to cut that fine line with Walc. Is we're actually focused. We don't try to use the word crypto. We use the word blockchain, and actually we're trying to utilize blockchain technology rather than the crypto side, because there's a big difference. The banks, you talk blockchain, cool, okay, we'll have a conversation. You talk crypto, get out of my office. You know,
even if you mention Pepe Coin.
Oh, mate, they throw you out, kick you on the streets.
But it's got a frog on its face.
We all remember Crazy Frog. Oh my god, that ringtone.
Okay. So you're doing an IEO, initial exchange offering, and then you're going to use the funds for generating the business, funding the business, and developing
Correct.
it.
Yeah.
And one of the things that you've said, and I've kind of worked it out from what you've been saying, because you're working with all these banks and stuff, and because the environment is going towards regulation, you're going to be out to be, regulatory compliant. Now, one of the things I want as a warning to people, because it's also something you said about it's long term. It's a long term game, because people come into crypto to make money. I mean, James, I have paid off my mortgage. It wouldn't have happened as a social worker on my social worker salary. It wasn't going to happen. And I'm, interested. I'm in here so I can make money and provide for my family. But I've also learned that patience pays in the crypto space. It really, really does. You've been in since 2015. I bought Bitcoin in 2013, mate. I did. Now the mistake I made was the same as you. I didn't buy enough. And I bought Ethereum at $3 and I didn't buy enough, right? Right. But you and I could have divested ourselves of those assets in 2017 or when there was the pump, and then we wouldn't have got the returns that we've got over time. So patience pays. And something for people to bear in mind is that cryptocurrency projects, blockchain projects, like all businesses, fail. Some are scams because people see an opportunity to make quick money and disappear. That happens. Some are shams, which is like, for whatever reason, the project just fails. It doesn't get going. No dishonesty necessarily, but it just doesn't work out. And then some are doing really, really well, like Binance, like a few others that are just slowly building. And then you got to ride with the rough with the smooth. That's how it is.
And that's the sort of ethos of the accelerator. So we know that, let's say we bring in 20 projects. Not all those projects are going to be the next Binance or whatever it may be.
Some will fail.
Some will fail.
A long time to give a return.
But we can absorb that because we have other projects that will do well. So we can absorb that effect. And also because we have funding that comes in, which is not directly affected by the crypto market. Again, we can absorb it again. And, you can pick and choose your investments. Most projects don't actually need that much investment. So I'll give you a great example. Like, it was back in the day where projects raised was it 10x? 10x raised $80 million. And then
it's gone.
And then it doubled. The market doubled. And then, I can't think of his name now. The Austrian or German guy, he then made them sell, which was good, good. So they ended up with $160 million. They couldn't even launch a card. And I know another project that did exactly this. Like, they launched a card, but they fell into some issues and ran out of money. But they did that on 800 grand. So this whole fallacy of you need lots of money. It's not. It's resources. I'll give you a quick snippet. For us to launch the largest use case of blockchain on the planet will cost us £6 million.
Wow.
And that's taking very reserved salaries. Just zero-based budgeting. What do you actually need to get this done? And if you break it down, and that's part of our whole ethos. So we'll pay our C-level team. So when projects, we probably only need to pay one or two people in the project. That's probably most of the money that they need, and maybe a little bit for hardware building. The rest is absorbed by Walc. So actually, you're not controlling the money, but you don't have to give so much away in that sense to be able to get the project started. And then when they get going, then they get the rewards.
Yeah, no, I get I get it, and I know. Was it how much did EOS raise?
2 billion, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a ridiculous amount. And where is EOS now, right? And 10x, by the way, I did have a 10x card, and
I did.
The project is folding. It's
at least I've got a scraper for the car when it's icy.
Okay, then the other thing is the Walc token sounds to me a little bit like a hedge fund or a sort of diversified investment fund. Because if I got the Walc token, and let's say there are now 10 projects within the Accelerator program, and let's say 3 of them do really, really well, 3 of them crash and burn, and then the other 4 are just just piddling along, not doing anything. They're just flatlining, but they're still going along. Then my investment is protected through the diversification strategy, and then all the time on a regular basis. Did you say how often? Every month or every 3 months you're buying the tokens?
Probably every 3 months we'll do that.
Okay.
So quarterly results will come in. We'll bank the profits for those quarters, and then we'll do the buybacks and everything.
Right. You buy back and then you burn, which means that the value of the token will keep going up, which is what's happened with Binance.
Exactly.
And then the other thing, we are at the point where we're at the end of the bear market, turning into the bull market. That's where I think we're at, because it times in with Bitcoin's halving schedule historically, but we're above the 15,000-16,000 dollar lows that we've had here. And this is probably the best time to get into crypto, because normally what happens, when it was late 2017, everybody was coming in. Oh, we got this project, we got this project, we got this project. When the prices are really, really expensive, and then they take in a lot of money when the price of the Bitcoin and Ethereum is really, really high, and then the price crashes in the bear market straight after, and the amount they took in is now worthless. It's lost a lot of value, but that's not the case right now, I think.
There's a few reasons, and you sort of touched on one. Is we're launching now because we do believe the market is on return, which is good, because you can go in, offer it, and the token goes up. It's really good vibes for the project. The other thing is, and most people don't know this, so this might be something new for the channel, Rich, is obviously Simon, my business partner, is very connected. He does lots of stuff for the FCA. There is some regulations coming. So you're not going to be able to launch a token very, very soon unless you have FCA people littered throughout your business. FCA qualified people throughout your business. So even to do the marketing, to put a tweet on, you're going to have someone who is FCA regulated to do that. Now, and obviously the real-time payment business, that all has to be FCA regulated. I've seen the salaries that these guys are on, astronomical. We've probably got 6 or 7 people that we need. So there's an FCA lawyer. We've got people in New York. Obviously, we need them in all the hubs. I mean, the salary bill on that is like $1 million alone, just for those guys. But you need them,
right?
That's coming. So all these little projects that think, oh, we're just gonna launch, because now they're going to be handing out prison sentences. How many of you actually do that? How many bankers have gone to prison? Very, very few. But I think they'll make a big example of people in crypto. So hence.
Oh, the bankers will want to send the Bitcoiners to prison for sure.
Hugely, and then try and nick their wallets. There's huge regulations going. So we could be one of, I know the ICOs is a dying art, if you will, but we could be one of the last projects to potentially launch in that manner. We're lucky because even if it changes, we've still got FCA people in our business. I'll just get the lawyer guy to do everything. But a lot of people won't, because they're not fintech, our other business, obviously fintech. They're not in that world, so they don't naturally need.
And they won't necessarily have it means they have to raise more funding.
Oh, massively
to get going, right? And then with your FCA in-house expertise and experience, you can offer that to the projects that you take on in the accelerator, I assume.
Well, the thing is, they don't need to launch, do they? So the token's already out there. All they're doing is they're coming in, and they're just being part of the family, if you will. So we don't need to go through any of that. So we've designed it that way because we've known about this for some time. We just haven't, this is the first for you, but we just haven't put it out there because we're just so focused on what we're doing right now.
Right.
Even though it probably is a huge piece of news, we've probably shared it and all the rest of it, but you have to be quite sensitive with some of the stuff you can and can't share. Now, I do believe that is in the space, so you can go and see that in different locations, but in the main, most people won't have a clue about it, and then they'll end up doing it, and then they'll pay the consequences, unfortunately. So there's a lot of changes coming. So, and hence why we've done it that way, because we can bring projects in. They're really good. They don't need to go through all the other stuff. Our token is already fully regulated. We've sandboxed for 2 years, so we are absolutely fully regulated. And at the end of those 2 years, we'll what they call grandfather into the FCA. Necessarily probably don't have to, but we're going to do it anyway because we want everything to be absolutely on the mark. Right. No questions. We don't want to be no XRP.
Yeah, which offers protection to those that participate in the IEO.
Exactly.
Now, when is the IEO? How can people find out about it?
Hopefully, end of July is our dates. That could move could move into August. It depends on a couple of things right now in terms of the exchanges. The best way to get hold of us is through our Telegram, or visit the website, and you've got all the different social medias there that you can follow. But Telegram is definitely the best place to get us. And there's also a few things that we're working on in terms of our marketing. So I think, Rich, I've been doing cage fighting for over 20 plus years now. I'm training with some pretty high level champions, shall we say. We're in talks with, we've already pulled out in our first cage fight. He's getting sponsored for, it's Mo. He's fighting on Cage Warriors. So he's going to be fighting for the, I think it's the lightweight amateur title. So he's one of our new sponsored fighters, and we're going all the way up to the pros. So obviously at Renegade Gym, there's a load of guys there that I know and train with. So I'm going to sponsor those guys. And the reason for that is you can sponsor these guys, and it doesn't cost, it's not costing the earth, shall we say. And you get your brand all across their chest, on their shorts, and you get replays and lots of different things when they win. And it's on UFC Fight Pass, which is our perfect audience in terms of demographics. BBC iPlayer, it will be on. We're going to be everywhere. There's a lot of stuff that we do with football at work. I want to look at some stuff once we get the funds together, especially through RTP, is actually sponsor a Premiership football team. So obviously at Cadbury's we do a lot of the stuff with Cadbury's. Cadbury's FC, huge things. Obviously I've got the contacts there that I can tap into in terms of, and the thing is this, it's not going to be Manchester United or anyone like that. I'm not going to go waste 80 million like Tezos and all the rest of it. But if you get, so when you get the new teams promoted up, you can get a full season for 3 million quid.
Wow.
So 4 million quid maybe. So that, I think, coupled with the other stuff that we're doing, and the reason I would do that is because you've got 60 million people in the UK, and it's something like half the population watch football.
Yeah.
So they've got eyes on you all the time. And yet it's not Manchester United, but when you play Manchester United, it's going to be seen.
Yes. Very good. Okay. And then have you got any accelerator projects lined up already?
Yes, we've talking to quite a few people. We've got a potential wallet that is very much like MetaMask. With those guys, Christian and Daniele, they had a project called Amon. They're the ones that did the card for 800 grand. Now they've got this. Christian's been working on the wallet for a while. We're talking to some guys called Ample, which is best way I can describe it. It's like Netflix on the blockchain. Those guys have actually, one of the lads is on Renovations with Jeremy Renner. He helps build this music van. It's on Disney Plus, so you can actually see. It's pretty cool. They're all up there. So yeah, and we've got a few other projects on the sidelines. And again, if there's projects out there that want to touch base with us, again, get in our Telegram, send us the white paper. We'll start reviewing those things. So the focus is get real-time payments up and running, get the exchange running, and then that gives us all the runway to then invest in lots of different projects and support them and build the space and make it trustworthy and make it a safer place to play, if you will. Because like you were saying before, this whole bang and bust stuff, I don't like it because you get the sometimes the influencers to some extent, they get in, they hype it, they're in early, they're making all the money, and then all the followers get in, everybody else, and then they get stung, and then they don't want to play in crypto anymore. And I've seen it. I know a couple of guys that went in for, they got money to spend, but they went in for I don't know, maybe 100, maybe 200 grand. They bought some Bitcoin and Ethereum at the heights. And then now when you talk to them about it, mate, I'm not interested. It's shit. It's not. You just bought into the hype and you bought at the wrong time. But in general terms, it's a good space. First, you need to be early. Two, you need to be patient, like you said, Rich. And also, you need to invest in projects that have an engine and not, because if they ain't going anywhere.
Because of the fad or whatever. And don't put in any more than you can afford to lose.
100%. Like, don't risk it. Like, I'm trying to think of the project now, but I've seen stuff like people have gone in with like 400 grand, talking about killing themselves on Twitter, and it's just like, that doesn't sit well with me. No. Like, if our coin makes a couple of cents every couple of months or something like that, happy days. I don't want it to do like $1 on the first month or so and then just dive straight back down again. Does nothing. A couple of people get rich off that, not many, and generally it's the whales. This project is about encompassing everybody to some extent. And as long as people are patient and everything else, then it will work. And we're going to implement some staking programs and different things. So again, lots of different bits of news that will happen throughout the life cycle to really drive value and scarcity and all those different types of things.
Okay, and then people can stay in touch by, I have the links to the website and also the Twitter and the Telegram group, and people can find out that way. Is there anything else you want to let us know, James?
No, I suppose the main thing is that we're doing a funding round right now. So there's equity and tokens on the line. So if you are interested in having some equity as well as tokens, then you can contact us at the Telegram group. That round does close in the next couple of weeks, and then we're locked and loaded. Then ready for the IEO.
Right. Okay. Well, listen. Thank you so much. I look forward to having you back on again at some point soon. And thank you for reaching out. Really, really do appreciate it. And anybody who's watching, you have any comments or questions, put them in the description below. But also go check out this website, do your own due diligence. And between now and when I see you next, please keep filling your pockets with crypto profits. This is Crypto Rich and Crypto James signing out. All the best. Bye-bye.
Cheers, guys.